Wow. They're really going at it, or are they? President Trump tweets, X's, whatever. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do. And he just went crazy. Elon Musk replying kind of, what's with the black circle, oh, by the way? Without me, Trump would have lost the election. Dems would control the House, and the Republican would be 51-49 in the Senate. And some other things are being said. Peter Schweizer, president of the Government Accountability Institute, terrific author, prolific, really. PeterSchweizer.com. You got to check it out. Peter, lots to talk about. But first, this. I think it's fake. What do you think?
Well, it's always hard to tell, but, look, I mean, Trump's a strong personality. Elon Musk is a strong personality, and they do have differences in terms of their approach to politics. Elon Musk is kind of a new convert, as it were, to MAGA. So I think the substance is real, but I don't think it's going to end in a divorce. I think they're going to find a way to make up. I agree with Elon Musk that the bill is not ideal. I wish there were more spending cuts, but I think you also have to be realistic about what you can actually get through the House and Senate. All right.
Now, let me just make my case again for why it's fake. I've seen President Trump do this before with Piers Morgan, and this tweet from Elon Musk really puts it over the top, okay? Accusing President Trump of, an Epstein Island connection. Do we have that tweet? It is, in my opinion... He knows that's preposterous. It's utterly preposterous. Put it up on, here we go. Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. All right. To the extent that he is in the Epstein files, whatever an Epstein file is, they may have a little note about when Donald Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because he was seen as a weird, creepy guy, and they severed his membership. So, I don't know. Anything, is there possibly performance art so Elon can get his company back and his life back?
Maybe. I mean, look, it'll probably help him with people that buy EVs, right? I mean, one of the reasons Tesla's sales are down is that he's perceived by liberal Tesla buyers as being too close to Trump. So it's possible. I mean, you're starting to convince me. I do think we have to remember, though, that, Elon Musk, he's prone to tantrums. He gets angry. He's used to getting his way. Very successful in business. That's worked well for him. So I think he's probably frustrated that people in Washington haven't bowed to him the way that he's used to having them do in Silicon Valley. So I think it's real, but Greg, you're making a pretty strong case here. I might have to reevaluate.
Okay. Last thing. Piers Morgan, there was a pretend feud. I thought it was real. I was so angry at Piers Morgan. Found out it was a great big practical joke. And also, there's a genuine connection between these two, and like a friendship, like they're peers. And I think it's special, and I think this is just going to, but it serves its purpose. Peter, we're getting that investigation into the Biden top people over the Autopen and so much more. This is, they got a real problem, Biden and his lieutenants, don't they?
They absolutely do, because, look, there's lots of evidence. If you just look at some of the issues upon which Biden signed executive orders, signed legislation later in his term, they were complete reversals of what he had said over the course of years that he would actually do. Now, the simple explanation is he was lying, and that's certainly possible. But it seems like there's a pattern here, and I think that what Trump is doing here is important. Critics are going to say he's doing it for petty reasons. I don't think he is. I think he's doing it because there's a genuine concern about the Biden administration and this question of Oval Office capture. If you have a group of aides and a spouse like Jill Biden who effectively shields somebody from public scrutiny, and you can kind of run the show, that has enormous ramifications for democracy in the United States. We saw with Edith Wilson when Woodrow Wilson was president, back in 1919, 1920, he had a stroke. She was really calling the shots. The only reason that he was not run for re-election is that some senior party Democrats at the time saw that he was incapable of performing basic functions, and they killed the idea of him running in 2020. That did not happen in the Democratic Party. Nobody stood up and did it, and is further proof that Democrats are turning into the things that they say or claim that they're fighting in Donald Trump. which is, anti-democratic behavior, conspiracies and hiding things. This is exactly what they did in this case, and they really need to do some soul searching, I think, about what is motivating them and their perspective on reality, because they are turning into the thing that they profess to be hating.
Wow, yeah, totally. And oh, by the way, it's against the law, not only grave political implications, but 18 U.S., let's see here, 18 U.S.C. 912, impersonating an officer of the United States, taking the authority, acting as if you do have the authority of any department or agency thereof, shall be fined 3 years or more, both 3 years or a fine. And if this is a conspiracy, it goes a lot higher. Basically impersonating a federal officer, which is what could have happened if somebody was running that Autopen. Peter, I can't believe the times we're living in, that so many people are afraid of the truth, that Joe Biden could be in plain sight and totally feeble, and half the country refuse to acknowledge it, and the media too. It's really Soviet-esque. It's becoming a very weird country. I know the good guys are on the rise, but I can't even believe it happened.
Yeah, no, it is pretty stunning. And look, a lot of the fire, rightfully so, is directed at the mainstream media, and they continue to absolutely destroy and trash their own brands. They've really been doing it for a while. It really kicked up steam, of course, when Trump came on the stage with all the fake news about Russia collusion, all the other stories they ran that ended up not being true. But now this is yet another example, and they're not going to be able to get their brands back. So they have to ask, at what price have they tried to carry this out? The other thing I would say, Greg, by the way, for me, is it's not just an issue of the Autopen, although that's a hugely important issue. We also have to accept the reality of even the stuff that Joe Biden signed. It's a question of whether he was in an appropriate mental state when he signed them. All you have to do is look around in America. There are thousands of lawsuits involving families where an elderly member of the family, changed the will or signed a legal document when they had Alzheimer's or when they didn't have their mental faculties, and the courts deemed those to not be valid. So the Autopen is absolutely an important issue, but I would take it even a step further. Even those pieces of legislation he signed, we really have to figure out, did he actually know what he was signing? Because there's clear examples with Speaker Johnson and others who had conversations with him about legislation he actually signed himself that he had no memory of ever signing to begin with.
Peter Schweizer, thank you very much. PeterSchweizer.com. And oh, by the way, you may be right, because I forgot, Elon Musk liked that guy Jared Isaacman a lot for NASA, and President Trump pulled the plug on his nomination. Maybe he's really, really annoyed. I hope not, because they were a great team. Thank you very much. President Trump, the captain of that team, of course. Peter Schweizer, to be continued. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.